I'm back. Road Rants for Black and White Sports. As you all, I'm sure, anticipated, Road Rants was going to weigh in on the XFL suspending operations and laying off the employees with no commitment towards next year after saying they were coming back. Now, you may be like, Rhodes, what happened? Well, my partner in crime, Mr. Matrix, brought up in his video there was a poll about the coronavirus and no vaccine. Well, I can tell you right now, this poll, in all likelihood, was the trigger for the XFL calling it a day. All right? Because, look, as much as I don't love the New York Post, this was a good Seton Hall University poll. And it was enough people to get an idea, for sure. I worked years in the corporate world. I did a lot of trending and statistical work. And there was enough people in this poll that, yeah, you could get a good idea. 72% basically said, look, I'm not going to games in person without a coronavirus vaccine. And then there was a certain amount of people that were like, or I'm at least not going without social distancing protocols, which in turn still affects attendance. Okay? So, look, this poll is really what did this. Now, you may be wondering, well, why did they call it in 2021? It's because we're looking at 12 to 18 months before there's a vaccine for this coronavirus. Do I think we'll get one quicker than that? Yeah, I do. Is that going to save the XFL for next season? I doubt it. And there's a couple of different factors besides just this. By the way, in case you're wondering, through 5 weeks, the XFL had outdrawn attendance versus the AAF by 60-something thousand fans. Okay, doesn't sound like that should be a lot. It is the equivalent of one full extra week of games, basically, in the same amount of games. Okay, and so that's a big deal. The XFL was doing pretty well. Now you may be like, well, what's the next question? Is the XFL ever coming back? The answer is, I don't know. And you may be like, well, that's not much of a goddamn answer. Okay, I get that, but there's some real factors here. Vince McMahon had a 3-year plan, and the 3-year plan had to do with network television deals. At the end of 3 seasons, he wanted to have secured a network television deal around the $100 to $150 million range. A lot of people that watch the XFL do not realize. They think, oh, ESPN and Fox have got these games, and that's a big deal. Yeah, the problem there is the XFL was paying to play. Okay, whereas the NFL, the networks pay them to play. Okay, so in other words, yes, Fox and ESPN agreed to put these games on, but the XFL paid them to do so, and in turn, the XFL would turn around and sell off advertising to try to offset that cost and or make a profit. So, in a league like the XFL, attendance is huge. That's the reason you can see the NBA, the NFL, MLB, MLS, these other leagues can talk about playing in front of no fans. Are they going to lose revenue? Sure they are. But they've got network television deals that are influxing money into the league. The XFL does not have that. At the end, that was Vince's goal. I need at the end of this for Fox and ESPN to both pay roughly $50 to $75 million apiece per year for rights to keep broadcasting these games. In other words, I need it to flip around from where we're paying the output for it to them paying for the output for it, okay? And Without attendance, this league could not make it. No chance. No chance of making it, because at least with attendance, you've got a chance to pay all your players and your coaches every week. Okay? And get that done, and your people operating the league. It may not cover all the costs. Vince might have been like, shit, I still got to pay another $100 million a year out of my pocket, but I can do that. What he can't do is pay he can't pay at least some. He doesn't want to cover all of that expense, and it's understandable. The other thing is, because of the way the draft in the NFL is set up this year, there's speculation. Look, even up until Thursday of this week, I had heard rumors, strong rumors. Mike Florio heard them. Peter King had heard them. The Herd mentioned them. There was talk of the NFL draft going back to 10 rounds this year because of the fact that they couldn't do all the leg work involved in a normal draft. So they were going to give them the ability to draft extra players just in case the hit rate on a player is lower. That could have affected your talent in the XFL going in next year as well. And there was thoughts that the NFL could potentially expand rosters a little bit for 1 year. All this sort of stuff that could affect the XFL. But at the end of the day, this was about attendance. And next year, likely, you can't attend games. Now, here's something I would look at very heavily if I was Vince McMahon. I would get out of business with LA and the Wildcats. I would move that franchise. Look, I'd take my bottom two attendance franchises, LA right off the bat, I can tell you, and I'm not sure exactly who the other one would be. There's several that are right there in the mix for lowest. I would move LA for sure to either Orlando or San Antonio. In other words, why draw? Look, the Chargers can't even draw. You got to have a great product to keep the LA sports fan actually in-house, in person. Why worry about that? Move it to a football-starved city that proved in the AAF they can draw big. The last week of the AAF still drew like 30,000 fans in San Antonio. 3 weeks after the league had said it was folding. Move LA to San Antonio and let them draw 30,000 fans. Let them draw 15 to 18,000 more fans of revenue a game. I don't know if Vince will bring it back. And I would do that with my other franchise too, because that way you've got full stadiums. It looks better on TV. It looks like people are more engaged with it. Take the lessons that you learned and try to ramp it again in 2022. So I would put myself in a position that if I can't draw 17,000, period, they're not going to play in that city. The other one would be Columbus, Ohio. I did an expansion video. Could not believe the amount of comments I got saying put one in Columbus, Ohio. It will sell out. Was shocked. Because evidently Buckeye fans there really want a pro team of some kind. And they don't care. They're like, we'll take the XFL, put X Buckeyes on it, and people will show up 25,000 deep. And that's what the league needs, because it needs that revenue from attendance. So, if you're looking for a culprit, the coronavirus did do it, and this poll was the trigger. The poll was done, I believe, the day before the XFL announced it was done. When the fans said in a poll, we're not coming back in person, the XFL said, well, we have no television deals. We have no networks paying us a significant amount of money. Instead, we're paying them. Without attendance, we can't do this. You know what, Vince? I enjoyed it, and it was growing the channel, and it's a shame. I found out I loved spring football. I did. I enjoyed it. Consider subscribing. I will continue to cover the XFL. If anything breaks, if any players, significant players get signed in the NFL, I will cover it. Anything that happens with this, we cover the NFL, MLB. We're all doing our best right now. The channel slowed way down when the XFL and all the sports leagues closed. So, peace. I'm out. Till next time.